Okie dokie, we're jumping back into Toy Smash Kaboom. I want to give a big shout out to the team behind Toy Smash Kaboom for sponsoring this video. And on October 10th, they're going to be adding new features to their demo for the Steam's Next Fest. So first of all, they're going to be adding class exclusive items, just like this item here where the doll chef is going to slam the table, sending toys airborne. Or you can see this Vengeful Hamster King that you can summon after a bunch of hamsters have been taken out. Then there's also going to be new crafted toys that you can turn your Steam friends into game buddies to help you in your fights. Then there's also going to be new cards added and some other events for even wilder, crazier builds. But anyways, let's jump in with Dr. Hamster and see what we can actually do today. So first of all, in round 1 we're going to have a shop, a training rounds, lizard shop, and then a PvP challenge opponent. So starting off, what are we going to be looking for? I mean, we also start off with 2 hamsters, and I've seen one of the skills and I want to go for as much hamsters as possible. Now we could take the shovel, craft up this guy right here, who is going to battle start, burrow forward, then turn back for every enemy knock, and during the process they're going to get stacks of bravery. And bravery are going to be knockback, so it could be kind of fun, but I'm not going to be prioritizing them. We could also grab ourselves a rhino as a tanky unit, which I'm going to be taking with a bit of storage. And we could take the hard card for a little bit of healing. We can also craft up these for now as well, and I really do want to grab a marble because with a marble, whenever a unit is taken out, it's going to launch and deal 2 damage. So if our hamsters get taken out really fast, we can get this marble to do lots and lots of damage. But I should we craft up to summon a spirit scroll so we have a 30% chance to summon a little extra hamster. I mean, these hamster balls are going to take 13 seconds to summon a hamster. 30% chance on a 13 seconds means within 39 seconds we should have at least 1 hamster. So starting off with 1 hamster, with that little bit of a heal for now, I think it's going to be that small bit better for us. But let's move on to our training rounds. Let's see how it goes out in these training rounds. Now we're facing a 2-stack block warrior with a little hamster that we're going to be trying to take out. And if we take him out, we're going to get the 3 gold. You see the gold attached to our HP. We take out the hamster, we're going to get 3 gold. We take out the 2-stack block warrior, we're going to get 4 gold. Now this warrior, this blocks apply a lot of physical vulnerability, which makes us take more and more damage. We do knock him off the table. I'm going to speed up because we're just going to be taking out this poker. Not too much of a problem. Amazing. We got our 7 golds. Hell yeah. But hey, we also got our lizard shop. And in our lizard shop, we get a surprise gift box where we can choose either slots, paper, shields, or water. It's going to be random, somewhat random in what we can get. But we don't have to take an item. We can click over and then we can go check. And right now I already have shielded loaded up. But these are items that we're going to be offered from that. Now there is other items that are going to be combined items, but the shop doesn't offer combined items. So we're probably going to see some shields just like this one. Because this one is a legendary item and it will be crazy to get that early on. Now Rhino really benefits from having a bunch of shields, so I might actually take shields for now. Just grabbing one, that's amazing. Let's grab our marble, let's grab a Raging Rhino, let's reroll. Looking for some slots. And we could try to go for paper build instead, because we could take this guy and craft up into Jack. Because Jack also gains a bunch of shields when an ally is taken out, so it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. To the point we're going to sell both rhinos, we could have crafted this guy up, but let's take our 7. Now if we craft you up, are you going to be more storage? Hell yeah, you are, so we're going to lose a little hamster. But I do really want to add you in. And I kind of want to grab more shields, but we also need the card then too. We have to take out one of our little hamsters, and then we add in our ball also. And we could have it set up like so. We also want to move our entire units forward. So we're going to have our Jack as far forward as possible, so less walking. Because if we place them here, they only have to walk up a tiny bit. But if we place our frontline units in the back, they have to walk the entire table. Their opponent has a ranged unit, they're going to be shredded. But this is looking pretty good. Now our build is a little bit counterintuitive because we have shields on our hamster that we're going to be summoning. To be honest, and that kangaroo almost jumped over our Jack. Now Jack is knocking him. Come on Jack, you just knocked him straight all the way back. That was a bad move. We could actually lose this first round because of that move. This kangaroo is a crazy unit too, because it literally jumps over any frontline unit. And with that, it's like a little assassin that's going to be taking us out. And unfortunately, Jack is not going to be good enough to take on multiple hamsters. Yeah, it's looking like they're going to have the advantage. Just from this one kangaroo jumping forward. This Jack has put in crazy work, by the way. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be enough, because you're not going to do 50 damage within the time they have to do 8 damage unless their hamster comes in and doesn't get knocked off the table like it literally just did. Unfortunately, we do end up losing our first rounds, but it is what it is. We're going to be winning a lot more rounds after this. But we do have a new UI where we show our lives on the right hand side, and we do have 5 lives, but we did lose one, so we lost our ticket. But hey, we got 10 medals to collect. Let's see if we can get them. Round 2 is going to be a shorter rounds for sure. Speaking of awesome, I'm going to be taking more cards. And I'm going to be rerolling. Rerolling, looking for storage, speed zone, and you do want to grab, but we're going to have to settle for our basic zone. So we can add in more cards. Now these are going to have to be independent cards to actually get the effect, because if you place in 2 of these, we're not going to be able to get the effect. We got to be careful that we do not combine them up. Now we could also combine up into this card, which we could then combine up into this, which will give us 60 stacks of shield with a 25% chance on hit to restore 8 HP. And maybe we don't want to do that, but we will lose our cards. But I think that's going to be pretty valuable to us. Let's take our speed zone. Let's go and take our balloon for now too. And yeah, let's get going once again. Speed zone we want for our hamster ball. We want to be summoning these hamsters like crazy. But as long as our opponent doesn't have a big old kangaroo to jump past the front line, we should be in a pretty good spot, because our guy's going to get lots of heals. And he's going to get lots and lots of shields, which is going to be nice. Now this dull shift has 2 backline units. They also got themselves the Rhino, which is going to be super tanky. And our Jack is applying lots of magical vulnerability, which is not going to be helpful since we don't really have too much of magic. We do have this one club card that actually does provide a good bit of damage. Because with 2 stacks of magical vulnerability, they do end up taking 7 damage instead of 5. So it's just a little bit more chip damage. And here comes our turbo tanky hamsters. With the shields, putting in much better work than our first round. And hey, taking out this doll chef, no problems. We got our first medal, our first stamp, amazing. And this is where we're going to see one of the new features coming in the demo, the Joker's Blessing. And this Joker's Blessing is going to be amazing because it is going to give us a brand new item that's going to be potentially amazing, being our Vengeful Hamsters. So basically this is going to change how we play the game. So we got a Vengeful Hamster King who's going to deal 25 damage with 300 HP. He's going to have the effect when 10 hamsters die in a battle. We're going to summon that Vengeful Hamster King. Can only be triggered once. We got the Lizard's Blessing. So we got Death Rattle triggers count +1 for all items. So we can have a crazy Rice Ball King situation that can summon more and more units by having that Death Rattle effect triggered again. But we don't have that. We have ourselves a Vengeful Hamster King. I'm going to be taking this and we're going to be going full on hamsters. Now we'll be placing it here, but we do need to summon our hamsters relatively fast. We're moving on to our training round. And we're not going to be able to use this skill just yet. But the goal is to find as much little hamsters as possible by starting off with just crazy amounts of little hamsters and get our effect, our Vengeful Hamster King, summon pretty fast, potentially, hopefully. Because with a hamster ball, it's going to take 13 seconds to summon one little tiny hamster. And if you take the maths into account, that's 130 seconds to summon 10 hamsters that do need to be smashed out too. And with our setup right now, they're ultra tanky with our shields. We want our hamsters to be taken out fast. But hey, you can see our little Hamster King charging up. We did lose 1 hamster, that's literally it. But we should definitely be able to win out. Gonna begin this training fight. We're just knocking him all the way back. We don't have the DPS to actually take him out. But our little hamster's putting in some work now. Just doing those little bits of chippy damage. And not too bad. Definitely not too bad. We got our 16 golds. We're going to try to make this amazing, potentially. Let's take our speed zone. Let's take our balloons. Let's go ahead and roll. I don't want any of these items. And I'm just going to be looking for more hamsters. Now, do we want a meteor? Applying stacks of burn? Probably not. That's a clock. And another speed zone. Clock is going to be amazing because it will reduce the cooldown on our hamster ball. Let's grab a bit of storage. Let's reroll again. And we could try to go for another 7. We also got another club card, which we can craft up into this club card number 2, which every 6 seconds deals 7 damage to one enemy. But if there's playing cards at triangle, it does increase multicast chance by 50% and max multicast count by 1. So it's a chance to be multicast. Now I think it is going to be super important to put in our clock to increase the cooldown on our hamster ball. We also need our extra hamster in, so we're probably going to need one of these balloons in, and I would like to put our marble back in our hamster ball. Now the question is, do we still want our heart shields onto our hamster? Because we do want our hamsters to be taken out relatively fast. I also want to take this card, I want to take our balloon, and I quite possibly want to grab ourselves another card too. How fast is our hamster ball going to be going? It went from 12 seconds, or 13 seconds, down to 9.5. So from 130 seconds down to 95 seconds, it's a big difference. Again, I do want to craft it up, but you're going to take up a lot of storage. Can we do it? Well, we definitely can. But it's not going to have the multicast, so it's not going to do a whole lot for us. Let's go to move all this back forward. And with that, we're going to put a marble in on a tiny little hamster for now. Let's go ahead and move on onto our PvP fight and seeing how this hamster ball, number 7, or this Jack, I keep calling him number 7 because of the first unit that we did try to craft up. We are facing another opponent who does have the Lonely Warrior skill, which is all about having one summon, which our opponents definitely has more than one summon with all these hamsters. Now we're going to be trying to build up our big old Hamster King, but the sheer amount of shields on our hamster make it a lot more difficult. That's for sure, but eventually we're going to be summoning a crazy amount of hamsters, potentially, hopefully. We'll definitely see. Now this Nutcracker is surviving for so long. They got lots of crit boost, which is going to do lots and lots of damage. Every time one of our hamsters is taken out, our guy is going to be getting more and more shields, and we just want our Jack to be in, just to be that tank so we can keep summoning our hamsters. Our damage is increased. We're just over halfway on our Vengeful Hamster, and with the double damage, we might be able to get there. Maybe. There goes another hamster. Can we summon our Vengeful Hamster King? I'm really hoping that we can summon it this round. It's almost there, but our Jack is about to be taken out. This is a crazy long fight. We're taking fatigue. Here comes Hamster King. Look at this guy. He is massive. He is pretty slow though, but he is massive. But he's here. He's here to celebrate our victory. Eventually we're going to get this guy in faster and faster. But we got our second victory. Hell yeah. On to our next tiny little round, which is round 4. And we'll see what we get from here. We've got another card, which summon and remove 2 stacks of debuff effects every 6 seconds. I'm not too pushy about that one. Let's take our hard cards. The snowball could be kind of interesting, but I'm just going to reroll for now. Now that is literally going to be speed zone. We can also cool down the cards. We can speed up our cards relatively fast too. We can also increase our HP on our hamster ball. I'm not sure if we do want to do that though, so I'm just going to ignore it for now as I continue to reroll. That's literally everything I ever dreamed of, just eat another tiny little hamster. It's crazy to be dreaming about little hamsters. We're going to be speeding up this hamster ball just that little bit more too, which is now going to be every 8.9 seconds, which is smashing. For now though, we're also going to craft up this balloon. I'm going to be crafting up this balloon, and I would love to put in our extra hamster, which we cannot afford to do just yet. So again, we got to move on with this. I want as much little tiny hamsters as possible, because just starting off with them is crazy insane. Let's move on though. Let's definitely move on and see how we get on. 8.9 second hamster ball is nuts. Now also, grabbing a hamster hole could help us summon all our units. Now, they're knocking us back incredibly far, but actually helped us out tremendously by summoning Jack back. Almost got knocked off the table. And I wouldn't mind if our little hamsters got taken off. Now, I forgot to mention that we do have a weight limit. My opponent has an absurd amount of weight limit. As you can see, they have crazy amounts of debuffs, which is why Jack did so much damage. Because they take way more damage per stack of debuff on him. And with doing so, we can summon our Hamster King. Well, let's go. That's amazing. And actually smashing, taking out these little hamsters. Now I know they're little hamsters, but he's literally one-shotting them. Hell yeah. Just run forward to Hamster King. Take out this hamster hole. Smashers. And smashers. And just keep running forward, taking out this Dr. Hamster. And just one-shotting every tiny little hamster for days. And just actually smashing. These new skills, these new exclusive items is going to be a ton of fun for sure. But hey, we got our third victory. Not too bad. And this we're going to see one of the new features again. So in round 5, we get to choose to craft up a tie. Or we can choose 7 gold. So we can choose 7 gold or craft a tie. And with doing so, you can turn one of your Steam friends into helpful game buddy. But hey, I'm just going to be sad boy because I have no Steam friends. And we're going to be playing as myself today, LuckOuts. So we can choose a summon melee warrior game buddy. Or we can choose a summon fire ranged game buddy. Or we can choose a paper ranged summon. Now I like the melee unit. But also, a paper ranged, we're going to be going for some paper aspects too. I kind of want to take this guy. Should we take her or should we take our melee unit? I think we're going to take the paper unit. I think the paper unit is going to be kind of nice. Now, in doing so, we get a choice of an ability. We can choose the first one. If the magic at star is also paper, increase your damage by 2. So our guy can do lots and lots of damage. Every 5 seconds, if the magic is at star, is also paper. Again, 2 stacks of enlarge, so we can get a big, massive attacking ranged unit. Or we got Chain Paper Plane and Paper Plane Legion. At start gain double shield break effect. I'm not entirely sure what that is just yet, but I think I might go simple and I might just take that little bit of extra damage. Especially for a first round. Yeah, let's take it. Just getting a little bit of extra damage. Now next round is going to be shop, so I'm not going to put in our Game Buddy just yet. Until we get more storage, more balloons that we can basically fit our units in. Now let's reroll again. Looking for more. That's a hamster hole. That's a freaking hamster hole. That's also marble, which I'm going to be taking. Hell yeah. And I really want to be targeting our hamster ball. Unfortunately though, I'm going to reroll again. I need a ton of storage. And that's also a multicast and paper situation. I'm going to be taking a ton of balloons. But hey, we can't even put in our Game Buddy. The hamster hole is going to summon more hamsters, which is going to be really, really nice. We definitely want it. But we do got to move on. And we're going to be moving on to PvP rounds, which is didn't find any storage. We could actually lose this next round. Now, would have really liked to see our Game Buddy, but we'll see in the next round, hopefully. Now, can our little tiny hamster army take on this Dr. Hamster? They got a lot more units. That's for sure. They got lots of shields. Their kangaroo jumps forward, which is a bit of a problem for us. Especially if they don't take out our little hamsters and this kangaroo just goes forward. Look at this. You see our hamster just bounce all the way to the right? That was crazy. Knocked off the table. We're building up our king. And we do need our hamsters to be somewhat faster. Because yeah, run through our army just a little bit too fast. And especially, their whole army is walked forward. And again, it's not looking too great for us. Definitely not. Because our guys just get knocked back anyway. Yeah, we're going to 150,000% going to lose this round. Not even close. But hey, we got a big round on round 6, which is going to be amazing. And then we can finally put in our Game Buddy and get our hamster hole. We could grab more HP. We're going to reroll though to find ourselves any bit of storage. Any bit of storage would be nice. We can also gain stacks of rage. But I'm going to roll. And holy moly, we got a tiny little storage. I'm going to have to reroll again. And speak about not getting any storage. We're finding all the items I do want to grab. We're going to have to move on again. Now this is going to be a training round, so it's not going to be as bad as the PvP rounds. But that's nuts. We're getting all the items I do want to grab, but none of the storage. But hey, that's the craziness of an autobattler. Where you end up getting tiny bits of storage, which do cost a lot, but we can't really fit in our units. We could have taken and basically applied some bubble to our hamsters, which would make them even more tanky because it would block that instance of damage. But I didn't really want to grab that either. Now, I would like to have a marble on our hamsters because we summon more hamsters than just this tiny little hamster. But our DPS is actually really low since we're struggling going up again this training rounds. We're summoning our hamster army, but again, we need it going faster and faster. We need turbo hamsters. We need hamsters for days. To summon our Vengeful Hamster King to do craziness. Our damage is increased. We gotta make it quick. And our opponent doesn't also have a lot of DPS either. We're in a tricky spot because if they take us out too fast, we don't summon our hamsters fast enough. But if they take too long, we don't summon our Hamster King anyway. So it's definitely going to be a tricky spot to get this. The thing would be to summon more hamsters and get rid of a heart shield. That's the truth. But here comes our Hamster King just in time. And it's going to be a draw. And in the event of a draw, it's going to be a win for us. Which is nice. Especially in the training round. We get our 17 goals. Amazing. Now I'm hoping that we can get slots from here. We definitely can. I'm not going to take buff, food, or water. I'm going to be taking freaking slots, man. Speed zone? Hell yeah. Let's take our balloon. Let's reroll. And let's take... Okay, speed zone. I cannot complain anymore. Double speed zones is amazing. And also, you too. For now though, we're going to be crafting up this big old balloon. We're going to have this big old balloon. We're going to have lots and lots of storage right now. I'm also going to move this slightly over. Our inventory is looking pretty decent the way we have it right now. We just need our tiny little hamsters in. We also want our Hamster King in. We can't speed it up because we do need to take out 10 hamsters. But in order to make this work, we can place in one other hamster, but we do need multiple hamsters in. But I really want to put in our LuckOuts, our big old buddy who's going to be doing lots and lots of damage. We're also going to have this card, which is going to increase his multicast chance, dealing that little bit of damage, and especially with our Jack, you're going to be implying magical vulnerability, making our setup even better. We do got to move on with this again. Now, is this going to be good enough? We do have our marble on our hamster. With our hamster hole, we should be able to summon an extra hamster, maybe 2. Which I'm going to be super glad for. Now, there's our game buddy. You see him? He looks amazing, by the way. He's got our icon. He's going to be doing lots and lots of damage, actually, which is actually really, really nice. And attacks pretty fast. Definitely so. We do take out one of the units. And this is actually looking kind of amazing. We got our hamsters. We got our frontline units. We got our paper ranged unit. We're going to be multicasting cards. We're using all the brand new cards as well. And our Hamster King is still slowly building up. Now, we did take the shields away from our hamster ball, just so these hamsters can be taken out that little bit faster. But they are still taking their time. As we're slowly building up. As you can see on the Hamster King, we're just barely over halfway. Taking that 48 seconds, so it's going to be a long fight still. Definitely so. We need more hamsters. There goes our Hamster King. Let's go. And now it's just a matter of running forward. Just our whole units just running forward. But they're a little bit slow. They're going to be hit by this knockback. He just looked like he hit the trap and just healed over. Our Hamster King did get knocked back though, which is a little bit unfortunate, but let our hamster army run forward and create chaos. And amazing. We got another victory. Let's go. Round 7. Another small little rounds. Let's see what we can do from here. Now, another tiny little destroyed, which I definitely do not want. Costs too much. I'm going to reroll. Another speed zone I'm going to be gladly taken, and I'd love to grab ourselves another freaking hamster ball if we manage to get one. Every time I do want to add in more and more little hamsters, we're going to reroll again. And this is perfect actually. The balloon zone I'm going to be gladly taken because that's just straight up more hamsters. We can't reroll anymore, which is a little bit unfortunate, so yeah, we're going to be rocking on again. Actually, hold on a second. Our alarm clock isn't actually in. Definitely going to be a big misplay. Because speeding up our hamster ball is definitely huge. I can't believe I actually missed that. So I'm going to take out one tiny little hamster. So we have the potential to summon those hamsters way faster. That should be much better. That's for sure. And I still want to try to increase the speed on our hamster balls. I'd love to grab more hamster balls. I definitely so. More clocks would be amazing too. Just decreasing the cooldown. And look at this Frostbee pod going nuts. I mean, he's got a glass cannon. They're going to have a rage. And they shredded our whole army. Yeah, definitely so. So we're going to end up losing this one. But they hit the nuts. They had the card polarity shift, which duplicated their buffs as well. And had insane amounts of freaking attack damage on the Frostbee pod. Alright, I actually don't want any of these items. I'm going to keep rerolling. Hamster I'm going to be taking. Speed zone, let's take you too. Can we find a single hamster ball? I'm really hoping so. We definitely want this because this is one component in crafting up a mega hamster ball, which is going to, it's going to take a little bit longer, but has a chance to summon 2 hamsters. Definitely want to grab you. Now our speed zone does not work on a hamster ball. It will summon it a little bit faster, so maybe it's worth having this guy in. Let's put in our extra little hamster. We probably do need to craft up a balloon. Actually, we don't necessarily need to. We can have our hamsters in. Now starting off with 4 hamsters means we don't have to wait 8 seconds to summon an extra hamster. And I'm going to be rocking on to our next PvP fight. Let's try to get this hamster army online. Look at those little 4 dudes running forward. Trying to put in some work for us, but they're going to be sacrificed to summon our big old Hamster King. But hey, especially if you're going to be taking out, our Jack is going to be just stacking up those shields, being a super tanky guy. Our opponent does have those hamster balls, which does trigger every 15 seconds. They haven't been speeding up too much. Our build is still getting online though. And you know what? We're actually shredding this opponent relatively fast. To be honest, our Hamster King is halfway there. And yeah, we should definitely be able to win this one out. I don't think it's going to be close too much. Definitely not when our whole army is up front. And hey, yeah, it's definitely not going to be close. Just keep summoning our hamsters. We're almost to summon our Hamster King. And amazing. 5th victory, but in round 9 we got a big old shop. And we can choose summon shop, magic shop, or weapon shop. And in doing so, we can also have a look what's in it. Now I really want to go summon shop because I'm going to be looking for hamster balls, hamster holes, even tiny little hamsters. Yeah, so I'm going to be going to this instead of going for magic shop, which would be nice because it does have our cards too. And we do need to find this. Our weapon shop, the polarity card is nuts because it does duplicate those buffs. But I'm going to be going summon shop. And we got our first freaking hamster ball. Amazing. Let's grab you too. Let's reroll. Can we grab any more little hamsters? Unfortunately we didn't, but let's keep rolling. And here, hamster ball again. Amazing. That's literally insane for us. Now in doing so, We're going to combine this up. Now we are going to be a little bit over limit, so we're going to have to create this big old balloon that we have to try and figure out how we're going to fit in. Now the thing is, we could have our angry marble in between both our hamster balls to just do that a little bit more damage. Do that magic damage that we did once. Or we could have our hamster ball in this situation, just speeding the sky up as much as possible. With that, we're going to reduce that cooldown, and then all of a sudden our hamster ball is triggering every 8.9 seconds. You trigger every 10 seconds, which is going to be relatively awesome. Now also our guy deals more damage based on how much paper items are going to be around it. So this guy can do a ton of damage potentially. We're also going to have our explosive tag dealing more damage with a club card. But it is not a plain card. Well, this is. So we kind of need this guy in here. But we also need our Hamster King in. And in doing so, we're not going to be able to put our tiny little hamsters in. And I kind of want to put our tiny little hamsters in instead of our hamster hole. Just because we're going to be guaranteed to summon these guys. Or am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. And we can place in this hamster, we can place in our spotted balloon, and we can put in this hamster hole until we get a bit more storage. But let's move on to our trainer rounds and see what we get on with this sort of setup. Then we got a game buddy that's going to do a little bit more damage, which should be amazing. And yeah, we're going to have our hamsters spawning in faster with the amount of hamster balls we're going to have. Especially with our mega hamster ball, we're going to be summoning potentially 2 hamsters at a time. So it should be much easier to get to our big win con of our mega hamster. Because we're just going to have an absurd amount of tiny little hamsters putting in a lot of work for us, which is going to be massive, while our deck of cards, our little cards, are going to be doing a little bit more damage for us. Because they're multicasting like crazy right now. And so far, yeah, it's looking much better. Now we're not going to be summoning our king, but it is a training rounds. And yeah, we're going to be taking out this poker no problem whatsoever. We get all our golds. And I'm hoping that we can grab even more hamsters with 19 gold. That's amazing for sure. In doing so, let's go ahead and grab a speed zone. I don't want any of these items, so I'm going to keep rolling. Balloon zone I will be taking because that's just going to be just more units we can add in. I'm going to keep rolling. We probably should have taken that magic zone. And we're going to grab a mega hamster ball. If I had more gold, are we going to wait around for it? We probably actually going to have to. Now we're way over encumbered if we put in our hamster hole with our tiny little hamsters. Is there anything we can really sell? We could sell one tiny little hamster, which I don't necessarily really want to. I still want our shields on our guys so we get more heals. We can't do our speed zone just yet. And I think we're going to have to move on to our PvP rounds and we see how we get on with facing these opponents. Now they have Mega Hamster Ball. They have a pretty similar setup except they're going to have this Pumpkin Warrior. They actually have a lot of units. We're going to have a lot of units, but there goes our hamsters. There goes insane amounts of hamsters. We also do little bits of chippy damage with our marbles as well, whenever our hamster's taken out. And look at our Mega Hamster King will almost be summoned already. Within 23 seconds, we're getting this guy online. And I'm hoping that he's going to come in and just smash everything. But it is still taking his time. I was going to say 25 seconds, but it is at 36 seconds. Here he comes. What an entrance. And big old smashers just knocked him straight off the table. Now this guy has a lot of shields, but we're running through those shields. And Hamster King coming in, turning the tide of the fight. For sure. Definitely so. And hell yeah. Just smashing on through. Running with the tiny little hamster army. There goes our Mega Hamster Balls. And our game buddy just in the back helping out too. So wait, it's not looking too bad for us. Definitely not looking too bad for us. And just our tiny little hamsters putting in crazy work. We got our 6th victory, only 4 more to go, but we still only have 2 life. On round 10, it's going to be another short little rounds. But hey, let's go ahead and grab this and let's go ahead and craft up this Mega Hamster Ball. Now it does take up a little bit more storage, but that means we can speed up even more, which is genuinely amazing. Let's keep re-rolling. We want any of these items. Another card we could take, we could craft up into this one, which will give us more rage. But I'm not too pushy about that one. That's a tiny little hamster, which I'm going to be taking. Let's reroll again. We could grab this for 1 stack of bubble on our hamster ball, which could be kind of nice, but I'd rather get that summon speed for days. We also got heals if you want to. Again, I'm just going to be wasting all our gold rerolling. Now we do got you down to about 10.9 seconds. We're going to have a lot of knockback power, it's going to have a 30% chance to apply stuns, and it's going to summon 2 hamsters. We're also gonna have a marble. We should be able to get our hamsters summoned relatively fast. Should we grab this balloon? I'm gonna take it, but let's waste our final 2 gold rolling. And with that, we are going to move on with this. Can't put our hamster hole in just yet, but once we get another balloon, we should be good to go. And we have our 5 hamsters immediately summoned. We're just gonna run forward and hopefully take a bunch of damage. And be taken out pretty much instantly. But we're taking out their kangaroo number 2. It's going to be kind of nice, actually. They got a big old nameless warrior, which could be troublesome because with the gas station, they're going to be getting lots and lots of shields. We got lots of units. They're taking out our tiny little hamsters. Our guy, our Jack, is getting tons of shields, by the way, which is really, really freaking awesome. Definitely so. We almost got our Hamster King almost emerges. Just maybe 1 more hamster, maybe 2. I think it's going to be 1 more hamster. And here he... I was going to say here... No, now here he comes. Let's go. And it's just hamster army versus hamster army. That's for sure. But we got a Hamster King. That's going to help us win out. Definitely so. Putting in the work, double damage. And... Are we going to be able to win out? Definitely so, because we did get a little bit of chip damage on their Dr. Hamster. So in the events of fatigue, we're definitely going to win out. Because we just have dropped him down that a little bit more. Although, they're running through our Hamster King. Holy moly, we could still lose this one out. We really need fatigue to take him out. And we got taken out at the same time. But it still counts as our victory. I can't believe our Hamster King actually got taken out. That was madness. Definitely madness. But that was also a mad build too. Now, that is alarm clock. We're going to be taking it because I'm going to craft it up. Increasing the cooldown again. Down to under 10 seconds. Amazing. And we could also go for this freeze card. Every 9 seconds applies 2 stacks of slow to enemies and remove 3 stacks of buffs from enemies. Could be kind of nice, but I'm going to keep rerolling. Gonna keep rerolling. That's a paper plane. I kind of want to take it. It does cost us quite a bit though. Now, any bit of storage I'm going to be gladly taking. Can we put in our hamster hole just yet? We're 3 over the limit. If we craft this up and we craft it up again, this goes from 3 to 6. But we also don't have the storage for it. But hey, let's take the storage. So we can craft this up. We can bind this up. We fit this in here for now, and then we probably do need to... We could fit it this way. Summon this guy in, and now this guy's going to summon more hamsters for us. We got a paper airplane in this spot, which is going to be nice. And if we wanted, we could honestly craft up one of these guys into this item I'm talking about, because you're going to have a 30% chance to summon a little extra hamster. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I want to apply it to our Mega Hamster Ball. And with that, we're going to be venturing on. So we're going to be having an increased chance to summon more and more hamsters, which is exactly what we want. Now, is this hamster army going to be able to take on this doll chef? Maybe. 2 of our hamsters got knocked straight off immediately, which is good, but also bad. And our opponent does have a big old 4 stack of blocks with a gotcha machine, which is going to be summoning our hamsters for days. But our paper airplane is summoning quite a bit of multicast, which is actually providing quite a bit of damage. Our opponent was way over the limit, so they're going to get a ton of stack and debuffs, which is awesome for us. And yeah, we should definitely be able to win out before even summoning our Hamster King. But yeah, I'm not complaining, because we're going to be winning out for sure. And amazing. My build is looking actually really, really awesome so far, based on how much hamsters we're going to have. Now, in this next rounds, we're going to be having big rounds. It's going to be shop, training, lizard, and then a PvP rounds. Now let's grab our hero bubble. We can add some rage, chance for rage on our hamsters, which will be kind of nice. More heals could be kind of nice. I'm going to reroll though. I'm going to be gladly taking this because we can craft this up into this guy, who's going to go from every 13 seconds, hamster hole summons 1 little hamster, lose some HP, to every 4 seconds, summon a little hamster losing HP. Each summon grants 5 stacks of large to the next little hamster. For each type of food item, mansion cooldown speed is 15%. So now we want a bunch of food items. Now you're not a food item, which is not great for us. We could summon a magic mirror, but I'm going to be looking for some food items, and we got a bunch of playing cards. Now, do we want to just stack up playing cards? Because we could also do that, especially when it deals more damage. I'm going to take the little bits of chippy damage cards for sure. But hey, summoning more hamsters every 4 seconds is going to be amazing. How much HP do you lose when you summon? Because eventually you're going to be finite. Now, if you had a bunch of heals on this guy, like the cheese, we could be summoning hamsters. And it looks like it's probably going to summon at max. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hamsters, maybe? But our whole hamster army taking out this training round, no problem whatsoever. We should be able to get her tons of golds. And yeah, it would have been amazing to go for full-on paper builds like this queen. There goes our mega hamster. Let's go. Hamster King. Go put in some work for us. Although our tiny little hamsters are just putting in way too much work. Our Hamster King is going to get there, but he's taking his sweet time. And look at how big this hamster is. Holy moly, he's almost as big as the Hamster King for sure. And the one next is even bigger. Holy moly, these guys are getting crazy. 24 gold is amazing. Let's go for a surprise gift box. We can go for food. We can go for slots, shield. I'm going to go for food. Now, Weird Egg will give us 2 stacks. It's going to block 2 instances of damage, which are going to be taken for now. Let's grab you. Let's reroll again. And I kind of want to grab a hero bubble. Now, we can also take this to craft up this Paper Legion. Since we don't have another Mega Ball. Yeah, I'm going to be taking it. Let's take it. Let's combine it. It is going to take up a little more storage for sure. But it's also going to deal more damage. With a 50% chance to explode, remove 12 stacks of shield at battle start for each type of paper. Increase multicast chance by 80%. Which is quite a lot. I'm also going to move you down slightly. So we can have this food item in. Now it's not going to help us out too much, but it's going to summon our hamster mansion just a little bit faster. You know what, I will take this balloon zone though. And with that I'm going to be continuing on for now. You want more HP? The HP could be getting nice. We sell this though, we go ahead and grab. I was going to say grab the storage. We're just 1 gold short. Not what I wanted. I wanted to apply our Weird Egg to our Haunted Mansion. Now we could also apply to our Mega Hamster Ball so we can get our hamsters to summon in with that 2 blocks of instant damage, which make him turbo tanky. Now I'm going to reroll again since we can't afford that storage anyway. And I'm going to reroll again because I don't want any of those items. And with that, we're going to be moving on again onto our PvP rounds. Can we take on this tank Dr. Hamster? This tank is going to have a lot of damage. They're going to be getting stacks of shields. They got a big old crocodile loafer who's going to have a lot of life, lots of heals. And I'm hoping that our big old Hamster King can come in and just clear up, while our little bits of magic do some work for us too. So at least with the magical vulnerability, our freaking paper airplane can come and do lots of damage. Here comes our Hamster King just in time, within that 30 seconds. He's going to come in, mess up these units while our little hamsters just take all the aggro. And actually our hamsters pushing back everything. But hey, here comes another barrage of hamsters. Just an insane amount of little hamsters putting in all the work. And our Mega Hamster King actually just got stunned immediately. But hey, he's right here. He's doing big old damage. And actually just knocked that crocodile loafer straight off the table. And that fatigue is chipping us down, but with our Hamster King is going to be enough to push our units forward and just knock the tank off the table. Let's go Hamster King. Smashing. Amazing. There's one more victory off, getting our full 10 victories in round 13. Let's get going. Now grabbing another Jack will be kind of nice. Just another tanky unit to eat up all that damage. However, I'm just going to reroll. Multicasting our paper airplanes will be amazing too. We're kind of a hybrid type build between paper and Mega Hamsters. But it is working. It's definitely working. Let's keep rerolling though because I don't want any more items like these. Again, I'm not going to be taking any of these. I will be gladly taking this bit of storage. Now the fact that you need to be at the top is a little bit troublesome. Because I also want this to be targeting our Mega Hamster Hall, because we could place it down below, target our Hamster Ball, but then we can't place you down because you just pin to the top. But let's keep going. Should we grab this? We can't really afford to fit it in, so I'm not going to take it. That's another card which I do also want to grab. But it's also cooldown speed of cards. That would be amazing in our setup. Now I would like to put our Magic Zone in here. Grab this card and have it beside our other ones. But it's not really going to fit in properly. Now it also doesn't work on a paper airplane, which is not ideal either. I would have liked to have it on our cards. But we can also grab another club card and basically combine this up. Now I just realized that this is actually not a playing card. So it doesn't multicast this, unfortunately. And we got rid of all our playing cards. You're technically playing cards, so I kind of want to grab you. But we also need our little tiny hamster in. And right now this is going to have to do like so. Now we could actually win this final round, so we might not be able to get our card. This could potentially be our final rounds for sure, but if it is, this was a super fun build. I'm not going to lie, definitely super fun build. Just stacking in as much hamsters to summon a Vengeful Hamster King to do some awesomeness for us as well. But hey, let's get going. Let's go ahead and see if this hamster army can shred this final fight. Now if you lose, we're going to go to another rounds, and we are facing Banda. Now Banda could be troublesome, especially with the polarity shift. They're going to duplicate all the buffs they're going to get, and they're going to be trying to get a bunch of enlargements. Now, is our tiny little hamster army going to do any work for us? Because they are going to be taken out pretty much immediately. And it's just one tiny little hamster that needs to be taken out, and we can summon our Hamster King. But is our Hamster King going to go toe to toe with Banda? Because he's got a lot of shields. And this Rhino also has a lot of shields too. And this Banda is going to do a lot of damage. I mean, our Banda King already has taken insane damage, and holy moly. Looking like we might be going to another round. Because this Banda is going to be getting absurdness. But just the sheer amount of hamsters might still be able to win this one. Now our hamster mansion has been taken out, which is not ideal, but it's going to be double damage right now. But let's go hamster army, put in the work. Banda is insane, by the way. But the sheer amount of hamsters is just literally keeping this Banda, and look how big, what the hell happened to this Banda? He is massive. It's definitely this item here that grants enlargements, along with the popcorn. So, is this going to win out in our favor? Because we can just hold off this Banda with the sheer amount of spawn and hamsters. And in doing so, we both enter fatigue, and with that it counts as a victory. So hey, definitely a super fun way to actually win out. Taking on Banda. I know I ended up in a draw, but I do like the fact that once you enter fatigue and you just out-survive your opponents, you're going to end up winning unless you take that little tiny bit of chip damage. But hey, definitely a super fun build. And now in terms of DPS, our game buddy, LuckOuts, dealt the most amount of damage, 250. It's not a whole lot of DPS. Our Vengeful King came in, took the damage straight away from Banda, being taken out pretty fast. Which is unfortunate, but Banda is straight up nuts. And also, we didn't put much items on our Vengeful King as well. I mean, we could have applied shields to this guy. We could have also applied multiple rage. We could have also done enlargement on him, which would have been amazing too. And our paper airplane dealing quite a bit of damage too. And then just our tiny little hamsters not doing a whole lot because we're instantly shredded. Now in terms of damage from our opponents, look how much damage this Banda did. 1687. This Banda was nuts in terms of damage taken. In terms of damage taken, their Rhino number 2 took 860 damage, but our Mega Hamster Ball took 733 damage. But our Hamster Ball took 432, and our Vengeful Hamster King actually took 386 damage, which is crazy. And their Banda only took 326 damage. So our army of little hamsters just blocked a ton of damage. But anyways, we did survive with 2 lives left. We made it to the end with a crazy hamster army, along with the help of our Vengeful Hamster King. And honestly, these new Joker blessings make the game a lot more fun. And I'm excited to see where this game is heading. But hey, these features are coming to the demo October 10th. I'm going to have a link in the description if you want to check this game out, and I do recommend it because it is a ton of fun. I always have a blast playing it. And also, I'd like to know if you'd like to see more of this game. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, or a comment, or even consider subscribing. But I am going to have to leave it here for now. I just want to say thanks for watching, and I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time.